Dean's just like, I want him to call me daddy. It's like, oh god, no. That said, Tyson didn't move from behind me and just left his hands on my hips, almost holding me against his front. I felt my cheeks burn, trying to keep myself focused on making sure the bar I was supporting didn't crush Haas. Which cheeks, friend? Science needs to know. I'm just joking. Last time, Benson the butler sent 7 men on a scavenger hunt for 12 medals. Orlando found the first medal in the mansion's hedge maze. Roswell bids adieu to Dave, going to pick mushrooms in the hedge maze. We left our remaining 6 boys in the dining room. Sal has just punched out Dean for being real inappropriate. And let's continue to day 4. Roswell's absence becomes painfully apparent as the conversation switches to his whereabouts. All eyes fall on Dave, who fails to answer. Dave rushes out the door and makes a beeline outside. Haas and Orlando chase after Dave, stopping at the forest's edge. The hyena explains how Roswell went to collect truffles. Desperate, Dave calls out to Roswell, Roswell! But receives no reply. Orlando accuses Dave of being irresponsible by letting Roswell head off alone. Dean and Sal charge onto the scene. Dean, after being filled in on the situation, urges that no one should go into the forest after Roswell, lest they suffer the same fate. Sal shoots a mild threat at Dave, who feels terrible he didn't think to stop Roswell. Dave jolts awake. What had woken him up? He waited, but nothing happened. Dave decides to get some water as he ponders what had woken him. It was then that he realized the mansion was eerily quiet, as if each room was soundproofed. But if that was the case, then how did he hear anything? Perhaps about to receive his answer, Dave notices someone is walking about the mansion. He calls out, Hey, who is that? It's Tyson! Turns out the wolf takes regular walks at night, sometimes down to the gym to work out. Dave finds it suspicious, but he lets it fly. Maybe it was Benson who made the noise that woke Dave up. Day 5. Dave woke up feeling like he hadn't slept at all, checking Roswell's room, hoping it had returned in the middle of the night. Dave had found nothing. Dave was the first to arrive in the dining room. Everyone was distraught over the missing Roswell. Dave mentions something woken up last night, which Haas retorts how each room is soundproofed. And I think there's a secret door in Dave's room. I mean, come on. Orlando, Dean, and Dave head out to look for Roswell. Dave wanders towards the tree line by the pool area, but Sal puts a stopper on that plan. Dave retires to the kitchen after a fruitless search. Orlando apologizes for being harsh on Dave earlier. Tyson arrives in the kitchen, taking note of all the sandwiches Orlando has made.
Why don't you call it I'm being the cook for a while? We have a butler for that, don't we?
Yeah. Did he just act nice towards me?
I've been trying to tell everyone that he's changed. Conversation switches over to the sandwiches Orlando is making. Turns out the short dragon has a crush on the massive crocodile, Sal. Dave playfully mocks Orlando by impersonating Sal when he notices a weak, disheveled boar wandering in from the forest's edge. Roswell! Roswell explains how he thought he smelled truffles and ended up wandering too far into the woods to find his way back. Dave took Roswell inside to the kitchen, where he has him treated to tea and medicine. Roswell tells Dave, Thanks for being so concerned over me. Dave bumps into a shirtless Ty outside the dining room. Ty takes notice of Dean's affection for Dave and mocks the hyena over it. Dave weakly defends Dean before he finds himself in Tyson's room. Go figure. Tyson used the excuse that David started spacing out, but in reality he just enjoys the hyena's company. Dave, having been given a moment of solitude, let his mind drift back to what Tyson was like as a kid. As a teen, Tyson was stronger, faster, and remorseless compared to the other guys. He'd pull ears and jab noses until he got what he wanted, usually lunch money. One day, Tyson had found himself the target of a very wealthy dragon family due to his bullying antics. Dave recalls rumors swirling at the time that Ty was facing expulsion, and then he happened upon the crying wolf at the steps behind the school building. Dave, concerned, and really not really thinking about his well-being at all, approached Tyson. The wolf, assuming the hyena was there to laugh at him, immediately threatened Dave to stay away. Dave, however, offered Ty a chance for all the wolf's troubles to go away. In fact, Dave was friends with the dragon family, friends with a young fellow named Orlando. Dave could ask Orlando to talk to the principal, but only on one condition. Tyson has to leave Dave alone. And Tyson begrudgingly agreed. Pulled out from his reverie by Tyson, Dave asks if he remembered the time the hyena saved the wolf from being expelled. Ty didn't recall, just laughing it off. Dave kept pushing Ty, however, bringing up how Tyson would carry his books for him, wait by the hyena's locker, and escort him home after school ever since that day. Tyson, growing defensive, spouted an excuse for every action, but drew the line once Dave gave the wolf a cute puppy remark, and took the hyena into a stranglehold. It wasn't anything Tyson hadn't done to Dave before, and it quickly subsided after Dave made his point clear. Tired, Dave made himself comfortable on Ty's bed, prompting Ty to spoon Dave as they laid down for a nap.
This is the price you pay, pup.
Waking up in time for dinner, the two find themselves in the rec room for a change of pace.
It's pizza and movie night!
And all the boys were splitting off into pairs of two. Dean stares jealously at Tyson as Dave begins to hover closer to the wolf. As Dave made his way to sit next to the lupine, however, Ty puts the hyena into a headlock. Uncle!
Nope. See daddy, pup.
No! Fine! Daddy! Tyson lets go, chuckling. Dean is mortified. Dean's just like, I want him to call me daddy. It's like, oh god, no. Day 6. Dave found himself half asleep. Something was bothering him. What was it? Was it time to visit the vault again? Despite this moment of inspiration, inputting new passwords was a fruitless endeavor. Dave heads back to his room to prepare for breakfast, a breakfast which Orlando was making. Again? Dave encourages Orlando to relax more, which Orlando just chuckles at, brushes him off. The 7 men all had their days planned out. Orlando was teaching Sal how to cook. Well, we're going to go swimming, with Dean visiting the forest afterwards, and Haas and Ty were going to go towards the gym. Guess who Dave ends up going with? Come on, guess! As Haas continued to lift weights, Dave learned the art of spotting for a weightlifter.
Don't shove your balls in his face, pup. Like this.
Sorry, Haas! Oh, it's alright. Felt my cheeks burn, trying to keep myself focused on making sure the bar I was supporting didn't crush Haas. Which cheeks, friend? Science needs to know! I'm just joking. Haas, sated, heads off towards the treadmill while Tyson takes over the weightlifting bench. End of day 4 of Password. Thanks for watching, everyone. Due to the massive support on the last Password video, I'll continue making videos like this. I was fairly rushed due to a Homestuck video I made yesterday, but hey, if you ended up liking today's video, please be sure to leave a like. And, as always, whose house? Rad's house. Take it easy, everyone.
In coffee shops and their sippy cup ass piece of shit. I just gotta play along with whatever he says and pretend to laugh, and then he'll go away faster. Oh!
This is fucking capitalism!
Rules for me and not for thee! Damn it! My greed has made me lose more of my money! I only get $120 for that? Dude, just drop porn on the internet instead! Who's this bitch think she is?
Yes, because we can all agree to beat to a pulp that disgusting furry face.